is life so hard? Why does it seem to be a challenge? Do you ever find yourself feeling like you're swimming through treacle, like you're pushing a boulder up the hill, like you take 3 steps forward and 5 steps back? Today we're going to talk about, we're going to offer one perspective as to why life might feel so hard sometimes. Namaste, welcome everyone. This is a morning soul flow that was inspired by something just this morning. Myself and my wife woke up like at crazy o'clock, as has been happening recently, but this was really crazy o'clock. It was like 1:30, then we couldn't get back to sleep. Receiving downloads, all sorts of things happening. But then when we we fall back asleep somewhere in the middle of the night, and then we wake up again like around 6:30, whatever it was. And every time that happens to me, if I fall asleep for 3 hours and wake up and I stay awake, I'm good. But if I go to sleep for a short time, then wake up, then go to sleep again, I always wake up feeling, no matter how tired I've been before, no matter how many hours. Again, that's just, I don't know, maybe you'll relate, but it's just I just feel, I feel horrible when I wake up, when I've slept twice. If I sleep through, it doesn't matter if it's 1 hour or 8 hours, I feel refreshed, I feel rejuvenated. But we've been really committing to our physical practice along with all our other practices that we are continuously becoming and remembering. But today, I really didn't feel like it. And this is the thing. I know when I work out physically, when I do something with my body, which we did an amazing thing yesterday in ecstatic dance, 3 hours, 2 hours, whatever it was, really working our body and sweating, you just feel amazing afterwards. But how many times do you maybe can relate? Before you do the thing, your mind's saying, and maybe your body is saying giving you all sorts of reasons why you shouldn't do it, or I can't do it, or I'm too tired, or it's too sore, or it's not, And I really felt like that today. Because the mind is set up to keep itself, the ego, the mind is set up to keep itself within a perceived comfort zone. It's set up to keep itself within this realm of what it believes it is, this little separate self. And if I can just control the world and keep everything within this realm of what I know and what I control and what I can plan out and map out, I will keep myself safe. Again, this is the little mind, the little ego self, the little separate self, saying I can keep myself safe. I keep myself in this little comfort zone. And so then it stops us. The true self, the spirit, knows that it's free, it's wild, it's already free, it's already complete, and it always has all of its energy all of the time. The idea of high energy and low energy is not true. We always have the fullness of the energy. The thought came to me as we were just about to do this workout and I wasn't feeling like it. The thought came to me, some sort of emergent, let's say you're feeling really tired and I don't want to do this workout, I don't want to go for a walk, I don't want to start this project, I don't want to, whatever insert mind has said about life is hard. If some sort of emergency appeared, like your child needed you, or some sort of emergency where you saw like an animal or a child or another human in a place where you could help them, you find that energy in that moment. There's stories of mothers lifting cars off children, or these sorts of things. And it's the truth that all of energy is always here all of the time, but the mind tells stories that seems to limit our energy. It means I have high energy when this happens, I have low energy when this happens, and I can't do, or I can do, determined on the story my mind tells about the energy. So that came to my mind, like if some sort of emergency, like I'm feeling a little bit low energy, at least was feeling the same, some sort of emergency, emerge and see, appears, I would have no challenge in finding that energy, because the energy is there. But the mind tells a story that life is hard, I can't do this, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough. Whenever these conditions are better, whenever this, that, or the other changes, then I'll be able to do that. It's just a story. All of energy, all of life, all of God, all of the fullness of the wholeness of beingness is flowing to, through, and as of all of the time. And the only limit to that, excuse me, is the story our mind tells about that. And the story our mind tells about it is, I'm a little poor me. I'm a separate self. I'm low energy. I'm happy today. I'm sad today. I'm energized tomorrow. I can't do that on a Wednesday. And these are all stories that limit the unlimited energy. And what it takes in this dimension, because this is a physical dimension that we're focused on, although we're existing everywhere, everywhere and every how, every now, is to take the physical action. And in spiritual communities and light worker and all these blah 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 labels, so often the action is not taken. So often I have not taken action because I'm not inspired, I'm not energized, I don't things aren't right. But what I have found, and maybe you can relate, is when I actually take the action, like we do the workout. Yes, at the beginning it doesn't feel great, but something happens. There's usually just a little thing mentally again that you get over, and then it starts to feel good, and then energy starts flowing. And that's what happened today. It was challenging, physically challenging, mentally challenging, but we did it, and it wasn't long. But there was a point where, because we've taken a physical action that goes against the limiting story of the mind or the ego, the energy starts to flow. And we could ask, why was the energy not flowing in the beginning? But I suppose that's another story about the sleep. That's a story that I've just told. That whenever I wake up and fall asleep and go back to sleep and wake up, that's a story that I'm telling, that I have low energy. Maybe, not maybe, if I change that story, that will not be the case. Because this reality is just what we make it, what we speak about it, what we speak into being, what we give our sacred breath to. So life is hard because we make it hard. Life is hard because of the stories we tell ourselves. Life is hard because we have a belief system that life is hard. But life is not hard. Life is beautiful. Look at this. One of these trees saying, "Oh, life is hard." It's those clouds in the sky and the mountains saying life is hard. It's those birds saying life is hard. No, a little angel just floated by there. No, life just is. Life is the fullness of becoming, of unfolding. Yet we come up with our little separate based human story saying life is hard, poor me, I can't do this, I can't do that. It's just a story that the mind or the ego self uses to keep itself within its separated little bubble of limitation, of victimhood, of I can't, of poor me, whatever it happens to be. But life is always living and always giving and flowing through us in fullness and completeness and wholeness and holiness. And life wants an outlet, and life doesn't care if you let it through or someone else let it through. Life is not moral. The energy of life is not giving to good people. This is what's so challenging for spiritual people. How do like very wealthy people that don't have good intentions for humanity have so much wealth? Because they have no hang-ups and they have no story about abundance and wealth. They just let it flow through. Now, if their intentions are not good, will that bless their life eventually? No. But life is always flowing and always giving and always prosperous and always abundant and always in its fullness. And we are a way in which that energy can be expressed. And if we express it and filter it through a limitation, through a false belief, through a limited belief, that's the way it will express. It's like a pipe. There's full whole energy available to all of us, and we put it into a little bit. Okay, today I'm just going to close it off because I'm a little poor me, because Mercury's in Gatorade, to quote an amazing singer, Roman. That was a hilarious song. I don't know anything about astrology, just making fun. But we give a reason, a season, a story for as to why I cannot be the fullness of who I am today, because I'm too tired, because the moon's like this, because of whatever. It's a story we tell that limits the unlimited energy that's always flowing to, through, and as us, that wants to express itself in this dimension. And every limitation is a story of the mind, it's a story of the ego, and that is why life is hard. Life is not hard because it's intrinsically hard. Life is hard because we make it hard, because we tell a story, we believe a story that life is hard, that I need to get something to become able to do the things I want to do, that I am separate from my source and I have to work to get energy to receive. I have to become worthy enough. I have to pray. I have to face the east. I have to, do all sorts of practices. All these things are just stories that are made up in the mind of the human, the mind of the little ego that keeps itself separate, so that it gives the experience of life being hard, because then it can stay in its little bubble, it can stay in its little victimhood, it can stay in its little idea of self-preservation. And again, this is not something evil. It's it's all it knows. It just knows the five senses. It just knows the word. It just knows I'm this little separate me, and I need to get mines, and I need to fight to survive, and I need to protect myself, and I need to do all of these things to survive. Yet its survival is an actual illusion. It never even existed. Again, it's a story. The little separate self, the ego. I hope you can hear the sound of this bird. It's such an epic sound. I don't know what a bird. There's an app that we can get. I might find that out. But just a little story. So there, that one. Hope the camera caught it. If anyone knows what it is, please put it in the comments. So yes, today I didn't want to do that workout. Elise didn't want to do that workout, and bless her, thank you. It's usually me is the one. Okay, let's do it anyway. She was the one was telling me, and that's an amazing thing, amazing gift to have another soul, another spirit that can speak through the garbage. So, no, because if I had said no, I don't want to do it or whatever, she wouldn't have like forced me or anything. But she said no, let's just do it, and she helped me in that way. And other days I help. But we need the spirit, the soul, the truth to speak through the bullshit of the mind, the stories of the mind. This is hard. This is I can't do this. Especially what, and again, it's not about self-punishment. It's not about the extreme other end of this is where we punish ourselves and we're trying to self-flagellate or whatever that Catholic thing is called. We're punishing ourselves because we're not good enough. I'm talking about things that we know deep down in our soul, eating pure food, moving our body, exercising, doing something that we know in our soul is good for us. I'm not talking about forcing yourself to do something that's just punishing yourself for no real gain. I don't. There's never a time in my whole life that I've done yoga or done a workout or eat a healthy meal where I thought, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. No, our soul knows, our spirit knows what is pure, what is clean, what is aligned, and on the highest level, food and exercise and all of those are a story, but they are a story that are embedded within the physical reality. And again, we're not limited by any of those. We don't need to eat, we don't need to move, we don't need to even breathe, but the story that we are telling now as a collective is we are physical beings in a physical body, breathing air, eating food or not, drinking or not. That's the story that we're collectively playing out. But what is important to know is like the spirit, the soul, the truth, the essence of you that has no name, that was never born, that can never die, doesn't have low energy one day and high energy the next. It doesn't have I'm good enough today and not good enough the next. It doesn't exist. It's like just a full giving, flowing force of love. Force of love doesn't sound the right way to say it, but that's okay. It's just love, and it's always giving, and it's unconditional, and it's always flowing, it's always moving, it's always giving, and it's never withheld from you. And it's not withheld by the government, it's not withheld by the cabal, it's not withheld by the reptilians, it's not withheld by anybody. They are just stories, external stories of the objectified ego out there that reflects to us, like politics, our lack of sovereignty, our lack of sovereignty within our consciousness. We need someone out there to blame for the reasons why I limit myself. We need something up in the skies pouring down chemicals so I can blame why my body's toxic. When I've got toxic thoughts, when I eat toxic food, when I speak toxic words, all of these outer objectified reality of the world are just showing us reflections of the inner thought forms and belief systems that we have. And whatever's going on in the world is showing us little pieces of ourselves. And it doesn't matter what is going on in the world, it only is what is going on in the inner world. What am I thinking, feeling, speaking, acting? How am I interacting? How am I engaging? Because the world is going to show that to me. And if I want to be a victim, I can blame it on this, that, and the other, and them. But the actuality, the truth is, there is only one. There is only this. I am that. I am all of this. And not the little me, I am all of this, which the little ego on the other side wants to take ownership for. I want to take ownership of all the beautiful spiritual, the spiritual ego will come in. I am this, I have this special mission, I have this special purpose. It's not about that. It's I am all of that. I am that. There is only this. This is all there ever has been, and there is no time, and there is no end. So why is life so hard? I'd love to hear in the comments. If you're watching now or you're watching on replay, why do you think life is hard? Do you believe it is intrinsically hard, or do you believe it is a story that we're selling or telling ourselves? Do you believe that life is hard because we're here, we're like some sort of Catholic hangover? You have original sin, and there's some sort of punishment, and there's karmic things that you have to go through this earth school. And the guides that I work with speak to this, and they say that life is not a school. You've nothing to learn here, and you're not. And karma is not some sort of retribution. Karma is not. Karma is very misunderstood. We talk about this in the book A Life of Bliss, a Living Transmission. Karma is just a natural response. It's just you bounce a ball, the ball comes back up. It's not punishment, and we don't have to go through anything. There's nothing that says that we have to experience anything in this world, and everything that we put into this world, we will experience. So again, there's nothing that we have to, but there's many things that we have done that we are going to experience because we have already expressed them. And just like bouncing the ball is going to bounce back. Not in punishment, in reflection. An opportunity to reflect. When I act like this, when I speak like this, when I do this, this world reflects that back to me. But the truth is, when we expand our awareness back of this pendulum flow, like in the Hermetic teachings, we rise above the pendulum. In this dimension where we are focused, there will always be the cause and effect. There will always be the swinging of the pendulum back and forward, or the bouncing of the ball. But when we are able to step back, and when we step back, there's no we that is stepping back. It's awareness removes itself from the idealized, the individualized little separate me, steps back and sees that never existed. You never were. All of this was just a play of consciousness, karmic back and forth, cause and effect. And that will continue in this dimension, but our awareness is only predominantly focused here because we are not aware that we are awareness that is aware of all of that, beyond that, before that, even it's never happened. It's not even in time. So why is life so hard? One perspective of infinite potential is because we make it hard. Because we tell a story about it that involves challenge, if we make it hard, it involves problems. It involves poor me. It involves all of these things that tell me life is so hard because of those over there. Life is so hard because of karma. Life is so hard because of the cabal. Life is so hard because I can't do it. Life is so hard because of the banks or the governments. Life is so hard. These is all just stories. If we can, again, we go back to the example. You're feeling very low energy. You're feeling like you can't do something. Then someone that you really love, something that calls you beyond your normal realm of thinking, needs your help. A child is in danger, or there's just something that you spontaneously you're just called to action. You don't think about it; it happens. Where does that energy come from? Was it always there, and you access it, or is it just like a miracle? I would offer here that the whole of all of the energy that ever was and ever will be is always here, and whether we choose to use it or not, it doesn't judge. We either open to receive the energy of God to move through our hands and our hearts, or we limit it and close it. And I call myself a little me, a little boy that doesn't know what to do, and that's some days high energy and some days low energy, and feels victimized because someone is stealing my energy or using my energy. All just stories. So I'd love to hear from you. Any reflections on this? What do you feel about this? Any challenges to this? We offer today that life is so hard because we make it hard, because we choose a story that makes life hard, that makes life a series of problems to be solved rather than a series of reflections and challenges to be discovered. There's many times in this life where I have had experiences that at one stage I would have called a problem and now I call a blessing. Through experience, but it's just a reframe. If something can at some stage of your life be called a blessing, and at one stage of your life it was called a problem, when did the problem become the blessing? Whenever the story changed. The event didn't change. No, I'm sure you watching this now can give an example of something that happened in your life, and when it happened, you thought it was the worst thing ever. You thought, whenever this happened, it's the worst thing ever happened. A relationship breaks up, someone passes on to the other side, a business fails, something goes wrong, you have an accident, and it was the worst thing ever. And you were a poor little me victim. And now you saw that it started a chain reaction of events that led you to on a road that you can't imagine. So when did the problem become the blessing? When the story changed. Yes, there's a passage of time. Yes, there's wisdom and experience because of that passage of time. But do we need to go through the passage of time to get the wisdom of an experience? No. We just change the story because our perspective changed. So we can change the story instantly. So everything that is happening is actually neutral until we give it a story, until we give it a meaning. So whenever we are faced with what we would call a problem, what we would call, something that is a little poor me victim story, if we choose to reframe it in that moment, we don't have to go through the period of time when it becomes a blessing. How can we see everything as a blessing? Just by the story that we tell. So this is one perspective on infinite potential as to why life is so hard. It isn't. It's just a story we're telling. Love to hear in the comments what you feel. Until next time, from my heart to yours, the divine in me sees, loves, and honors the divine in you. Namaste.